jump into this article from the Post Millennial. Seattle public schools offer free sex change services to students as young as 13 without telling the parents. The largest public school district in Washington state is referring students to the district for free gender affirming care. Free gender affirming care. The Nova Wellness Center and the Meany Health Center offer, quote, gender reaffirming care, end quote, including hormone blocking medications and referrals for sex change surgeries, which are available to the middle and high school students in the Seattle public schools. The health centers are operated by Country Doctor Community Health Centers, CDCHC, which offers, quote, no-cost, comprehensive, trauma-informed, and gender-affirming care conveniently at the school, end quote. Services include, quote, gender-affirming medications, estrogen, androgen blockers, testosterone, and injection techniques, hormone therapy for adolescents, and specialty referrals for younger patients as needed, and referrals for gender-affirming surgeries. Puberty blockers. It does not provide puberty blockers for younger patients without a specialty referral. So, I mean, and Washington, I think, is now one of those like refugee states or whatever, where if you're in a neighboring state, you can drive over there and they're not going to be like, yo, you're a kid, you can't do this. We're sending you back to Iowa, or we're sending you back to Idaho or Colorado, or I'm sure Colorado is probably just as corrupt. This is wild, man. Like, did you, I shared a video. I shared a video yesterday of Billboard Chris on Twitter walking around at an LGBTQ rally and asking people openly, like, who wants to give me an explanation why it's okay to sterilize children? And nobody would talk about it, man. These people are in a cult. They tell us we're in a cult. They are in a cult. They have no justification for anything that they believe. There's no factual basis for anything they believe. There's no moral basis for anything they believe. They are just headlong in a freaking cult. It's getting so bad now that, you know, you're looking at Sound of Freedom, you're looking at the movie talking about child trafficking. And it's like, if you're a conservative, or excuse me, if you are against child trafficking, child sex trafficking, and you think this Sound of Freedom was a good movie that brings exposure to this, you're all of a sudden a MAGA Republican, right-wing extremist, QAnon believer. It's unbelievable how stupid these people on the left are. I'm sorry. You guys are freaking morons.
Yeah. Well, they're very, very committed to not being wrong about everything, right? They're at the point where if they admit they are wrong about something, then the path to figuring out they're wrong about everything is very, very short. You know, right now, they have to defend this stuff. They have to pretend that the people doing all of this are doing it with the best of intentions. Like, no, they're not systematically trying to lop off your kids' genitals. They are just trying to help the people who need it. And those instances are rare, right? That's what they convince themselves is true. And so then they convince themselves that everybody else is getting really upset about a problem that doesn't really exist. And that's totally false.
Yep.